weakness at some point in my career of forgetting how to compose an image and just kind of shooting what looks good and not just sitting down and being critical and saying like, okay, what would this composition really look like or feel like, etc. It's true, guys. Everybody has weaknesses. I have weaknesses. You have weaknesses. But it's important to work on those weaknesses so they become strengths. There's my words of wisdom for the day. My name is Brady, and I am a DP with weaknesses, of course, that needs to improve, and that's what we're doing in this video. Listen, I was thinking last night, I've been inspired by Kofi on this project. We're here in Moab, and right now, Arches National Park. I'm here with Kofi. I'm here with Brandon, who's behind the camera, and we've all been kind of getting some, like, call them postcards on this project, where it's just these simple frames that are kind of well executed that would be like kind of motion picture on a postcard that you send to your mom. So what I'm going to be doing is just giving myself one shot at each kind of little spot throughout the park that we're at. And I can only get one composition and speed it once, and that's it. So it's going to allow me, it's kind of like shooting on film, but it's going to allow me to really be critical and really frame up exactly how I think would be the best image given wherever we are. But I want to do so with intention. I want to tell a story. That's my goal here, is I'm doing it with all one goal or one story to tell, which is that we're screwing around and adventuring in Moab and maybe getting a little bit dirty. So the story that I'm going to use as my prompt, we'll call it, is that just we're hanging out in Moab and adventuring, and how am I going to tell that to whatever said audience and whatever said hypothetical film that we're shooting. The camera that I'm going to use for all of these said compositions is the Pixis. This is actually my first trip using it. Honestly, I've had it for 2 weeks and I didn't have the media or the cage to do it. So now here we are. So it's going to be the Pixis with the Katos, and I'm going to shoot open gate just because, I don't know, there's a lot of depth to the land that we're at, but I want a lot of width to it as well, and anamorphic does a good job reaching further. So camera that I'm going to be doing is this, and I'll probably be using the side monitor because one of us broke Kofi's monitor and I lent him mine. I rushed my first composition, I'll be honest, but I did it with intent. Because I didn't even get the entire shot. I got the moment right after, but there's this cute couple that was just sitting there looking at the entire park avenues where we're at. And I was like, that's the moment. Like that, not just like a landscape composition. I was like, that's the moment I want. We're at this little lookout, but then I saw them pointing out to it. So I rushed and kind of sat down. I don't have a tripod. So I'm just sitting there like this on the Pixis side monitor. I just liked how it was just raw and organic. It was just like this cute couple just enjoying this together in this beautiful location, and that to me was the story of this spot. So composition 1 is done. It's important not to forget how important composition is, and that's exactly, I'm guilty of it. Something that I kind of let my guard down for a couple of years. So practicing is essential to really be able to frame up like the best image that we can. So that's the purpose of what I'm doing here. Composition number 2. So I'm really going on the storytelling thing here, just because I'm like, I could take beautiful landscapes all day long, but I want to take it from a cinematographer's approach, and like, what is the story I'm telling here while we're just hanging out with friends? And this, we turn this road, and it's this 4-wheel drive road, which for me, I'm like, fuck yeah, driving on dirt. But I see the sign. I think I want to focus on the 4-wheel drive road, and then my car drives through it, and that's just the composition. And all these going to be static and still shots throughout the day. But I'm just finding this angle to where I can see the sign and maybe see the road on both sides, just to get the point across of, like, you know, establishing, really. And we can't forget a big part of composition is not just to make a cool looking image. As cinematographers, I always say it, we're telling the story. But listen, guys, we're only in Moab for like 48 hours. So realistically, we don't have enough time to get all the beautiful shots that we want. So say we're shooting here and we can't get over there to get the beautiful sunset shot that we want. That's where Motion Array comes in to save the day. Motion Array is on sale right now. Let me tell you about it. Motion Array has an abundance of options when it comes to stock footage, and stock footage that doesn't look like corporate or cheesy or bad. It actually is really impressive and great quality footage. So say we're in Moab, I'm typing in Moab, and I can get all these beautiful Red Rock, Utah examples at sunset and then just fill that into whatever project I'm working on. And to add to that, they have a lot more than just footage. They've got all the assets you really need. It's a one-stop shop. They got music, they got sound effects, they've got templates, and also templates and presets for DaVinci, which are honestly really hard to find nice ones. So jump on it while the deal is still a deal. But I'm gonna leave all the information down below. Again, it's a one-stop shop for everything that I use on my YouTube. They've got everything you need. So go check all of that out. But let's go jump back into the postcards. So I'm setting up this one here, which is just kind of a along the car, using the mirrors as my friend if the car is not too dirty, of me getting in the car. This one's a pretty simple composition, but I like it. I actually really like it. Okay, screw it. Speed. So it'll look like that. And then, yeah, when I get in, okay, cool. So another way to compose shots is like with establishing. You want to establish your scene that we're doing. Like our story is adventuring through Moab, so I want to establish that and show that. So getting a huge wide scene of whatever location you're shooting, whether it's Moab or a bedroom, it's important to get a shot that shows the entire world that we're in. So that's what I'm going to do, is throw a long lens on the Pixis. I'll get the 125 on here, and I'm just gonna get a shot. There's a sliver of the road that's right there, where I'm just gonna I gotta drive all the way down there just to get this little window where my car peeks through, and then you establish the entire landscape of the mountains in the background, our red rocks here, and hopefully it'll look good. Framing this up in a way where I still want some dimension to my scene, some like foreground to it. Yeah. So I'm framing this up to where the shot rakes across all of this ferna, we'll call it right here, all the bushes here and the shrubs. So just on the low edge of frame, you've got this gradient. Come on. So on the low edge of frame, you've just got this gradient of bushes going across. For another one, it's okay to get details. I think my struggle is I'm always looking at like the grand shot, the big view, the whatever that establishes everything all in one frame. And us, when we're walking through the desert, we see the brush, we see the cacti, we see all these little details that piece together the puzzle for us. So that's the magic of getting these little detail shots. I've got a detail of this desert plant here, the wind blowing in it just establishes some atmosphere, some environment, and in the background there's just a little bit of mountains just to add a little bit of texture and depth to the background. No tripod, no anything, just a knee pod. I thought you was an angel, you flew away. And good old time lapses. They're kind of like the forgotten option. They take a long time, so you really do have to be intentional, especially with a time lapse composition, because if you're running it at sunset, you need to know exactly where you want the shot to be and be intentional with where the sun is going to go, etc. So we're going to set up a couple time lapses, call it 2 compositions. The first one is watching the landscape change as the sun moves. So this long shot looking out over the whole valley of the sun setting and seeing those shadows bend and reach across the entire land. And it's important because we're framing for where those shadows are going to lead. So almost leaving room for like a dynamic shot. Time lapses are they're really fun. They're a great way to show the passing of time or a transitional period into night or whatever it is that you're doing for your project. I tripped to heaven was a detail through hell. Or another way to be intentional with the sun moving is having the sun come out from behind this arch. So we have it start hidden, and I know where the sun's gonna go. I tracked it. It's gonna come out to the right of this arch, and I'm just gonna place the camera and just let the time lapse do its thing. Figure out the exact framing, knowing where the sun is gonna go, and then ideally let the sun come ping the lens the second it creeps out from behind the arch. So all in all, just practicing composition is something it's really important. Lighting, of course, is helpful. Your camera choice and lens choice is helpful, etc. But something that is so impactful as to just how your frame feels is your composition. So it's helpful to just have these practice moments of, like, for me, this is genuine practice because composition itself is just a weakness for me, honestly. So whether it's in freaking Moab, that's beautiful, or wherever you are, just giving yourself a challenge of like, okay, I've only got one shot at this spot. Let me try to think through the best composition that tells the story is a great exercise to. So I love you all. Thank you for sticking around for this video. I hope that you have some great fun compositions in the near future, and I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.